issue number 9 of YPFL Talk, the most famous podcast on our Twitch channel.
The world.
My name is Leonard König, and I'm, of course, as always, here with Sebastian Lemke.
Hello, guys. Nice to hear you again. After 2 weeks of a break, we are back for the podcast, and I'm happy to be here with you.
Yeah, we had quite the break. I don't really remember why. Okay, I think I do, but I just don't want to talk about it. Okay, so this week, first Nationals weekend. Crazy.
Yeah, hype.
Much stuff has happened. Mateusz Gordon or something, he already played in the Ultimate Guard Cup. It was horrible watching him. Terrible. We talked about this afterwards. It was like crazy terrible, and he was really ashamed of his performance. Nevertheless, he is, I think, the Norwegian champion right now. So congratulations on that one.
Congrats,
no harsh feelings.
He piloted Salomon Grade, right?
Yeah, I think so. Frozen card gaming player. The next thing I want to talk about, of course, the Spanish nationals. Adrian Durson, the nose matador, isn't the Spanish national champion anymore, but it is Eike Fecht this time. So Germany again taking the Spanish crown of being the champion of the country.
Yeah, but I think he's been living in Spain for quite a while, so he's kind of a Spain local.
Yeah, if you hear him talk, then you might get the idea that he's from Germany as well. Some people might have watched his deck profile. It is kind of clear that he's German. Again, no harsh feelings. I should stop insulting people. So, anyways.
Yeah, for sure. But we're actually trying to, maybe we can spoiler a little already, that we try.
Sure. Go ahead.
Try to get him on the podcast for next week. We already contacted him, and it would be nice to actually have like a very actual winner of a national on our podcast. Yeah. So we hope to make that happen, and it seemed like he already reacted in some positive way, so that might happen.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to have an actual winner. Like for today, we only have Joshua Schmidt. Okay, so
just Joshua Schmidt. Yeah,
he will be with us in a few minutes. Of course, we are also hyped to interview him.
Absolutely, the legend himself. Yeah.
Yeah. So continuing, Spanish nationals final. It was a bit like you've heard a lot of bad stuff about this. We're going to talk about this in a week, though. There was like some kind of a discussion going on about what happened in the finals and how it happened, and yeah. But continuing.
Yeah, but also I think it was a Salomon Grade mirror match as it was in the Norwegian finals. Yeah. So it seems like Salomon Grade pretty good. But for our next tournaments we are discussing, it didn't seem to be the best choice.
Yeah, it was actually apparently the second best choice. Even like
apparently, yes.
The Mr. Gonsalves, same name as Paolo. I think it's just the name that makes players good.
Apparently, yeah.
It was like the most poor man's Salomon Grade I have ever seen. There was no Phantasma in it. This was like crazy. No Signet minings, but a side package with Ghost Ogre and E-Teleport. It was very interesting to look at. People who play like more budget should definitely check it out. If you don't play more budget, check it out still. It really has potential. The Psychics are insane. Julio Valls topped Spanish nationals also with Psychics in his main decks. But we want to talk about the guy who actually took down the event. I have to say, I'm of course a bit sad that I can no longer annoy people with telling them that I won a national championship.
You can still tell them that you won them in 2018 and be like, yeah, it still is a very, very big accomplishment. And I'm like the boy, the guy. I'm the king.
It's not that to your last name. Unfortunately, also, most of the people consider it as a regional. I don't, though. The winner of the Dutch National Championship is Joshua Oosters, Team ARG's player, a Dutch guy, finally taking down the event again. Yeah. They took it back.
And he actually played Sky Striker, but with a special tag with a new release card that is making waves over the last few days or weeks already. And it obviously is the beloved and especially beloved card by you. Do you want to tell the world how you like the card itself?
The Cancer Mystic Mine. And of course, as I have attended the tournament, I would like to give you guys a quick run over of the Dutch National Championship about my national championship. So I started I prepared a bit for a rogue format basically. So I had like 8 spell trap removals after siding. It was like Cyclones, Pancratops, Twin Twisters. So you should actually be fine versus like rogue stuff. Also, it's good against Sky Strikers. So I felt really prepared. Round 1, I faced a Draco player, and I destroyed him. I think it was his first tournament. He didn't really like the stuff that Draco does. He didn't really do well. So that happens. Round 2, I played against the guy who actually won the biggest Dutch regional ever. Eugene, I don't know what his last name is. He also played the Mind Striker deck. And that game started to make me salty already. Game one, he stalled his way through with Mystic Mine. And as I eventually could out it, I took away his entire board and hand. During the grind game, I got rid of all the cards in his hand and back row stuff and all that. And then he drew Engage off the top on empty board and field and basically won the game because of that. What happened in the next game was that he basically Mystic Mined me, and I again couldn't get into any kind of removal, so I lost that game on time. Yeah. Then I won a game versus Orcust. That was pretty easy. One hand trap game 1 on the Mermaid was enough. He used his normal summon already, didn't discard a Orcust monster, so I felt pretty safe valoring the Mermaid and not waiting for the Badish. Scooped after he saw my Spinny Gazelle, so that was fine.
Makes sense.
Then I played versus Danger Guardragon Dinosaur, which for Salomon Grade is a terrible matchup because Conductor basically stops your entire plays if he books your monster on normal summon.
Just a better guru, right?
Yeah, I don't really remember how. I think he had Seal or the Heretic Seal and Conductor, and I somehow got I could stall my way through the board by activating Fusion of Fire, and I forced out his Seal so he couldn't extend into further plays. I don't know how I won that one, actually. Game 2 was easy because I Lancead and OTK'd him, but Game 1 was weird. I think he also bricked. He didn't top deck into anything after having Conductor on the board. Then I was like, okay, I can do this. It's only 9 rounds. I can afford one more loss. It's fine.
Yeah.
I was pretty confident with my deck choice. Then I played versus True Draco. Game 1, he flips Monarch's Erupt. I try to out it. He goes for that can only be 1, so my Foxy was dead, and then he OTKs me. Game 2.
True Draco OTK'd you. Cool. Nice stuff.
Actually, yes. Game 2, I start with Sunlight Wolf, Rage, and Dweller. I won that one, obviously. Yeah. And then Game 3 happened, where he had the exact same board, which would be Dynamite with 2 sets and a diagram. And as I want to activate my combo effects, he goes for Monarch's Erupt. I try to out it with Foxy, and he activates That Can Only Be One and OTKs me. So it was the exact same exact same game as Game 1. That was frustrating. I was like, okay, no more losses now. So next round I beat Pendulum, which was also pretty easy because I had 3 hand traps. And I could just combo after. So I was at 5-2 now. Last round of day 1 or 4-2. Yeah, exactly. Last round of day 1.
4-2, right? Yeah.
I look my opponent in the eye. He asks if I have an extra deck, and I say yes. Do you have an extra deck? And he's like, no, I don't. So as I normal summon Foxy after I lost, by the way, the 6th dice roll this day.
Yeah.
After I normal summon Foxy, go into Bailings, he flips Summon Limit, which has even less counterplay than Monarch's Erupt. So as he OTKs me, because they always summon...
I can feel the pain through your voice, for real.
Yeah. So game 2, I start with a good combo. He Sphere Modes me, but can't get into anything else, so I OTK him with Fusion of Fire. And then in game 3... I always also don't draw a hand trap, no spell trap removal, nothing. He sets 3 cards and has a monster. I go Foxy, go into Bailings. He flips Summon Limit and OTKs me. So
That's the definition of fun.
Yeah, that was my bubble popped.
Yeah.
Which sounds like a bit more sexual than I intended it to sound. Well, that was not too much fun. You can imagine how salty I was there, not drawing any kind of spell trap removal. But that's how it goes, especially if you go to like Rogue Nation for Nationals. There will be a lot of True Draco. The deck is pretty hyped right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Have you seen the prices lately? My God.
Ignis is like insane, right?
Yeah, Diagram is 10 euros as well. It's like people are really hyping the deck, and you know why? Because it beats our deck of the week. I think it is the deck of the week, right?
Yeah, it should be. But I would like to stay at the Dutch Nationals for a second, because let's just wrap it up by telling the people what the top 16 breakdown was, so they have a brief overview. So I will just quickly go through it. We had 5 Salamangreat decks, 3 Orcus decks, 3 Sky Striker decks, 2 True Draco decks, 2 Mystic Mine Burn decks, and 1 Pendulum deck, wrapping the top 16 breakdown up, which is pretty interesting because after the ban list and after the new set, it seems like we have a pretty diverse format for the moment, right?
Yeah, I mean the format was diverse before as well. I think
that's a good point. Yeah.
A lot of roguish stuff. Orcus was actually much more. Oh wait, they just got Climax and Dingir, so how could I forget about that? Well, the deck was basically completely different, but yeah, it is pretty diverse. I'm actually surprised that no dinosaur decks came through. Maybe that was because there were so many True Dracos. Yeah. I would have loved to see some miscellaneous action after this card got bumped up to 3.
Absolutely.
We saw something at the Ultimate Guard Cup match last week, and I'm actually saying we saw something.
We only saw one Miscellaneousaurus all the time. That's the second and the third.
Still can't determine what that game was. You should definitely rewatch that on YouTube.
Definitely,
and embrace my rage about this.
Yeah, and a very funny deck that is popping up again, like every time after a ban list, we had that happening at the CSL Invitational, where Spiral took down the event entirely right after the ban list was released. Exactly, Davide Pinino.
The deck that's also built by the Spanish national champion.
Yeah, exactly. They're friends. You're right. But Frankfurt Regional, which last time we casted on Sunday, actually was won by Spiral as well. I think Effe was his first name, and he seemed to be a Frankfurt local. Yeah. And he just ran through the event 8-0 with Spirals. And then I was just checking Facebook and saw that a regional in the States were won by Danger Spiral as well. So Spiral is just coming back out of nowhere and tries to compete in the metagame once more.
It was like U-Link Spiral, basically, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I saw 2 mermaids. And I was, this looks U-ish.
Yep, absolutely. So a lot of different decks winning tournaments this weekend. Pretty interesting. Salamangreat seems to be like the biggest contender for now, but there's still time until like the big nationals, until German nationals and so on. So we will have to see, and the format will have to develop even further. Yeah. But moving on to the deck of the week now. You already wanted to go there, and now I'm ready for it as well. And yeah, deck of the week, the beloved and hated deck. The Mystic Mine Burn strategy.
I don't know whom it is beloved by, but okay, continue.
Yeah, it is a new meta contender, right? It is part of the meta game now. And as we mentioned, it had 2 top cut spots in the Dutch Nationals this weekend. And it also won a regional over in America. And just in general, it seemed to be included in the meta game now, and it is a factor that people have to think of when they're building their decks, and it's not just a rogue deck, it seems to be like some kind of a meta part right now. What do you think?
I think that the deck is a bit overhyped, which also leads to the fact that Draco is a bit overhyped, because the deck has a terrible Draco matchup. I mean, your main damage source basically is Wave Motion Cannon, and we all know what True Draco does to permanent spell trap cards.
Absolutely.
Unless you activate Prohibition and call Disciples and Heritage. This is good win condition.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, what else about the deck? The Sky Striker seems to be kind of immune versus the deck. They can like just get some spell trap removal together with multi-roll. Sky Striker apparently has a really good matchup versus it.
Yeah, and you can just clear off your own monsters as well, so you have no monsters on board, right? So it is a pretty good matchup. You're right.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not too sure about the Mind Burn deck. I think that it was a really overhyped deck at first because people were like thinking that Sky Striker was dead and nobody really cared about True Draco. But as soon as people like really establish Mind Burn into the game, then they will find out that the deck's not that strong. I think it's really overhyped. And people shouldn't play it also because it ruins the fun of players who don't draw their outs.
It just seems crazy that super old card, Wave Motion Cannon, now all of a sudden is super relevant again. It just does not seem right, and it does not seem like that could be a stable thing in the metagame, right? Because that card just isn't as good as it was like 10 years or however long it is ago right there. It was pretty good, but now it's just too easy to out, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, you don't necessarily try to out the Wave Motion Cannon.
Yeah, of course. But it's part of the deck and a good win condition for the deck. But I really, really don't know about the deck. And people already hate it. It's like, it has to be seen how it really turns out. But it had some success already, so let's see.
Yeah. The OCG actually has a gentleman's agreement where the local players agreed that Mystic Mine was like banned on all the local tournaments.
Yeah, I heard about that. Lars told me about that on Sunday, and I didn't know. And that's...
Oh, you're mentioning Lars? Say hi, Lars.
Hi, Lars.
Hey, Lars. Hey, ho. Yeah, and that's quite interesting because it has been a while since we had a gentleman's agreement on a specific card, right? What was the last one?
I don't know. I just remember the Vanity's Empty. Oh, the Ginlock with Patrick Hoban.
Yeah, Ginlock for sure was one. And was there something else? Like Dragon Ruler, of course, there was...
Emptiness, Maxi, Emptiness.
Return and Sixth Sense. That was also one of the gentleman's agreements in the Dragon Ruler format. But it has been quite a while. So let's see whether that maybe transfers to the TCG. But I could imagine so, because that card really, really is cancerous to play against, at least, you know? It really isn't fun. Too fun to lose versus that card. I was like playing, not really testing, I was just playing BA for fun. And then Mystic Mine really is awfully good against that deck, because you just have monsters.
Yeah. But I mean, the deck won't... we won't have this gentleman's agreement. I don't know, like Sky Striker Mine will be insanely popular, I think. Because the deck... I mean, it still is kind of Sky Striker, but the deck plays like really different. They just stall their asses off until they have enough like anchors and stuff to OTK you.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, the deck really boosts up Sky Striker, and the deck was popular already. So yeah, I guess this gentleman's agreement will probably not work. Also, the community is increasing, so maybe some players didn't hear of it, and you don't want to go to a YCS like, yeah, we have the gentleman's agreement, and then lose to the card because some guy didn't hear of it, or is just basically being a dick.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, it's his good right to actually be a dick, because I mean, if that's available to your repertoire, you can just play it, and nobody can forbid you to play it if Konami doesn't do on the ban list.
Maybe at locals this happens.
Yeah, but that's a fact. Yeah, moving on to the player of the week, and there really can only be one player of the week. Yu-Gi-Oh! Translations right there. Yeah, and it is Joshua Oosters, and he won Dutch Nationals, as we already mentioned before. And he used that Sky Striker Mystic Mine deck. And it is really impressive that he actually won his own Dutch National for the second time.
Yeah. He's still not the coolest Dutch national champ in history of Dutch national champs.
Obviously not.
Still really good.
Yeah, I have the pleasure to talk to the best one, for sure. Yeah, he won the Nationals in 2015 already, I think. And
Cosmo Artifacts, I think.
Yeah, back in the day he played Cosmo, the cool Cosmo deck. And of course with Card of Demise, I think Card of Demise was basically just released at that point. Or like not long ago from there, and yeah, you can you can make your arguments on your own whether you like Demise Cosmo more or whether you like Sky Striker Mine more. I mean, it's both like kind of iffy, right?
Yeah, I'm on Demise Cosmo for sure because I played the deck myself. But I mean, let's not discuss cancer decks more.
Yeah. So congratulations to Joshua Oster's, really a humble face in the community, always with a smile. What do you say?
He's the Dutch rockstar.
The Dutch rockstar, yeah. Yeah, that's fair to say, definitely. So, but not a whole lot more to talk about there. So I would just move on to Card of the Week. And our Card of the Week, we thought about it a bit, and we actually didn't really talk about the ban list yet because we had a 2 weeks break. And also, when the ban list was released, we were just casting our last podcast with Farfar. And so one card jumped to our eye, which we didn't talk about a lot. And also, not a whole lot of people are actually talking about the card. But it is Miscellaneousaurus going back to 3. And it didn't really make too much of a wave. Like, people don't really hype the dinosaur deck so far. Or what do you think?
I mean, like, Miscellaneousaurus, a 1-card, no normal summon Linkaribo, which is insane. This is basically an FTK. I really, I think that the dinosaur deck has quite the potential. I mean, True King Dinos, of course, is like Brick City, but I don't know. I mean, dinos aren't too powerful or too... It's really weird to talk about the deck, I think, because it bricks a lot. I mean, they never brick versus me, but like danger dinos, it's really hard. I really don't have like a really based on facts opinion about the deck. I just actually like it, but I wouldn't take it to tournaments. I think the deck is insanely powerful, but I think that all the other decks are better. So I have no idea what I'm thinking about the deck. I think it's just a liability to play it. But if you want to play Dino, it's a good choice for a tournament, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And it seems like True King Dinosaurs are actually like the best version of the deck right now. Because like at least when I'm seeing the deck, it is mostly True King Dinosaurs, to be fair. Like the pure versions aren't really doing too much. And I mean the True King version doesn't do too much as well, but it seems like it does more.
I mean, it's like an easy calamities, but the diagram pop baby mechanic is much better now because you can search the fire one, and as Misk is on 3, then you can summon it more often. And as soon as you pop, like, if you have access to the fire one, you can... Oh, wait. You pop a baby, then you summon Oviraptor from the deck, then you add Miscellaneousaur, then you pop a monster and Miscellaneousaur, summon the red one, then you banish 1 Misk for a tuner, then you go into Ib, then you search the spell card, and then you can summon 2 more level 9 monsters, and that's an instant calamity. So I just made that up.
That was really, really quick, but that was what our player in the featured match of the Ultimate God Cup was doing on Thursday.
Yeah, something like that. I think he would start like double Fossil Dick and Terraform and all that stuff. I don't know why they always have that. He played 50 cards with 20 bricks, and he drew like 5 combo starters and still managed to mess it up.
Yeah, that was the best part about it. But he threw away two games. He not only threw away game 2, he also threw away game 3. It was really, really insane, basically. But like, what's cool about the deck that it can usually play Pot of Extravagance as well, but like not really in the True King version, I think, because they are a lot more reliant on the extra deck. But when I saw the pure version, it is really possible to play Pot of Extravagance, so you have extra draw power in it.
Yeah, but the pure version I hate. It's not any good. I think you should rather play either Danger Guard Dragon or Thunder Dinos or the
Paleo Dino. What do you think about Paleo Dino?
I haven't actually tried it out yet, but back in the days last year at the national season, kind of, and I thought it was like a really terrible deck, so I wouldn't play it.
Oh, Tobias2499 in the chat says Lost World Dino won a regional in Florida recently.
Oh, really?
Lost World Dino seems
I
to
still
be a
don't
good
think
choice
the
as well.
deck is good, but like at every European event, even though this is Florida, not
Yeah.
European, no.
Yeah.
Every European event has like one random guy who buys 3 structure decks, puts in like 1 Ash or something like that, and then tops ICS with it.
That's right.
The
Okay,
actually was
so
ganked with 1 Ash.
let's wrap up the Dino talk, the Miscellaneousaurus talk, and move on to news time. And we actually do not have a lot of news right now, because I think right now players and Konami are much more focusing on making the national season happen and bringing us as good of an experience as we can have for the nationals, which is cool and good because we are already hyped for our nationals and everybody wants to play at least one national. I mean, you can only play one, but you can attend multiple. I mean, we are attending like quite a few nationals this season, basically.
True.
And just the general vibe of a national championship is pretty cool, I think. And the news we have are basically that the pull ratio of Dark Neostorm has been a little bit more clean now because obviously vendors started to rip that product up in masses. And it seems that Dingirsu, or it does not just seem like it surely is the case that Dingirsu is actually short printed, the ultra rare Orcust card. And it is actually more rare than some of the secrets in the set. So you can just say once more, thank you, Konami, right? Just thank you.
Yeah, I guess like they always do that. They always pull a sneaky on us. Like I still don't think. Yeah, okay. I guess the price is like it's fine.
It's about
like
30
double
euros
Helix,
right now, right?
Double Helix wasn't a short print. It was 30 euros, but Double Helix was tier 0.
Yeah.
I think Orcust is not the best choice right now. So I think the price should, like, it might go down a little unless someone finds some crazy stuff for the Orcus. But yeah.
Yeah, and also
Anyways.
the other thing was like, it seemed to be the case that in unusual amount of displays had three secret rares in it. That was what I wanted to say, which obviously is a good thing on the other hand.
Yeah, this really is a thanks, Konami.
Yeah, exactly. So you can continue to do that, Konami. That will probably lead to drop prices of some secrets. But
yeah,
obviously not of the short printed ones. But we already talked enough on our own, right?
Yeah, indeed. It's time for the special guest to come out of his cave that is Skype. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Joshua Schmidt.
What's up, guys?
Ooh, round of applause. Hello, Joshua.
Hi.
Nice that you are here with us. Thank you that you followed our invitation. And I think it would be best to just start with a brief introduction for the few people that don't know you yet. So just tell the people who you are and maybe some of your accomplishments in your Yu-Gi-Oh career.
Yeah, okay. My name is Joshua Schmidt. I am 23 years old from Stuttgart currently, originally from Gießen. And I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh for like 15 years now, probably. And I have won 2 YCSs and attended Worlds 3 times.
Oof, that's quite a vita, yeah.
Yeah, that's better than winning 1 Spanish Nationals, actually.
Absolutely. And yeah, you have been along for a really, really long time. And what would you say was the biggest accomplishment of your Yu-Gi-Oh career?
Probably winning YCS Prague or getting 3rd at Worlds in 2012.
You did that with Insectors, right?
Yeah, that was pretty much the only deck you could play for that event. I
guess. But what did you play in Prague?
Paleo, 60 cards.
The Apple thing, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was a tournament where you had that rivalry with Billy Brake, right? Was it just...
Yeah, that's when I lost the finals of YCS Bochum to Billy and then played him in the finals of YCS Prague again, back-to-back YCSs.
Yeah, was it just hyped by the coverage or was there really like a rivalry?
Like, that story is just actually unreal, I think, still up to today. I cannot really believe that happened.
Yeah, just the pure fact that 2 players out of such big tournaments were going back-to-back to finals, right?
Yeah.
Just
That's crazy.
insane. Yeah, and you were speaking of yourself being to Worlds thrice already. So you are competing in the Worlds race once more this season. And how do you like the changes to the systems they made? So the actual system is different from last year's. So how do you like it in general?
I think it's better. I don't think it's perfect yet, but they're making like steps into the right direction every year. Like when they first introduced it in 2017, there were a lot of flaws in it, and they tried to make a lot of it better in 2018, and they did that because the problem in 2017 was that a YCS win would only give you 32 points.
Yeah.
So that way regionals were just weighed way too heavily. So like people that just played a lot of regionals had a huge advantage, even if like I did very well at YCSs in 2017. I think I got first, second, third, and fourth, but it was still really close in the end because Alpi was playing so many regionals. And they fixed that in 2018. They made it 64 points for YCSs, which was a lot better. For 2019, I'm actually very happy that they did the top 8 thing because after grinding points for first place in 2017 and 2018, I was actually not gonna go for it again.
Yeah.
Because it was just too much effort for me personally. I think it's a huge commitment to play that many regionals, and it's like for 2019, I was not gonna do it. And when they announced that it was top 8, I was very happy because it meant that I didn't have to try as hard as I had to in 2017 or 2018, which I actually didn't. I didn't play that many regionals. I probably played like 11 or 12 since they announced or since the season started. So like in, what is that, 7 months or 8 months, I only played like 10, 11, 12 regionals.
Doesn't seem absurd.
Because I said in the beginning I would only make top 8 if I would do well at the YCSs.
Yeah.
And if not, that's okay. And I ended up topping 3 YCSs, so that's why I didn't have to play as many regionals and still be in contention.
Yeah, but I think the playoff thing that will come up is kind of an interesting thing because how do you prepare for that event? Because normally I think you're testing with your teammates and so on, but there's so much on the line in that top 8 playoff, and you will have teammates of you competing with you in that playoff for sure. It at least looks like it right now, and it is fair to say that there will probably be at least one other E-man. And do you think
it's going to be
together?
Super interesting.
Yeah.
It's going to be super interesting because also the tournament is very special. It's very different from preparing for like a tournament that has 10 rounds of Swiss or something.
Yeah.
Because it's only going to be like 2 or 3 matches, and you can play different decks. You have to side differently because you don't expect as much rogue and stuff like that, and that leads to other mind games. But I honestly think even if Jonas and me are gonna make it, we're gonna end up preparing together because it's just like smarter. You want good people to prepare with, and the chance that we actually play each other is not that high. It's also what I've been doing when I went to Worlds with people that I know. It's like smarter to just prepare with 1 or 2 other people that are as committed as you are, because like of course you can test with other people, but no one's ever going to be as focused on testing or like as interested as the people that are going there with you. So
yeah, obviously not. And I'm not 100% sure. Is it that place number 1 of the World's Point race plays the 8th place, or is it just
as far as I know, it's going to be random.
Okay. So that's
I didn't
is it a good
ask...
thing or a bad thing? I don't really know.
I think it's probably better that way. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's interesting at least. And I mean, it is on the Friday of the European WCQ. Mm-hmm. And so do you prepare 2 different decks for that weekend then? Or what do you think?
Very likely. Maybe it's going to be the same deck but different builds probably.
Yeah.
Because like I said, the one event you have to prepare for like 11 rounds of Swiss probably, and then top cut, while the other one you just have to win 2 games.
Yeah.
Against also the average player in the main event is definitely not the same as you play in the top 8 playoffs. So
probably.
Like if we end up thinking that one deck is the best deck in general at that time, we're probably going to play it for the playoff and the main event, but we'll probably make certain changes according to what we expect from the other players in top 8.
Yeah. But I mean, if you make it in the playoffs, then then Euros aren't even that important anymore after that.
Well, it's not guaranteed, so we're obviously still going to prepare for Euros.
Yeah,
but I
of
mean,
course,
it's still both of these events are still the same format, so we still prepare for basically the same event.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Leo, what do you think? Should we just do quick spells right now, our first mini game?
Yeah, why not?
Seems good.
So,
right?
Joshua, what's gonna happen is that Basti is gonna like put a timer to 90 seconds, and I'm going to ask you a ton of questions. Really quick. You have to answer them quickly. You can always skip the question. Just say skip then.
Okay.
You can also just try to answer it. If your answer is wrong, you won't get minus points. If your answer is right, obviously, you will get a point for that.
Okay.
So, Basti, count us in as soon as you're ready.
I will count you down from 3 to 0, and with 0 you can then just start. 90 seconds. We'll start in 3, 2, 1, go.
What are the defense points of Abyss Dweller?
1400.
Name the card that Chumley Huffington designed in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX for Pegasus.
Skip.
Name a Fiend archetype.
Burning Abyss.
What are the Thousand Eyes Restricts fusion materials?
Thousand Eyes Idol. And... No, skip. Fuck.
What's the current Spanish national champion?
From this year or last year?
This year.
YPFL.
What energy requirement does Zoroark GX have for its GX attack?
2 dark energies.
What's the price of Nightmare Unicorn, approximately?
15 euros.
Which deck won the Frankfurt Regional?
Spiral.
Name a hand trap of Dark Neostorm.
Ghost Sister and whatever the other... No material, I know that name.
Name 3 back row removal cards.
Mystical Space Typhoon, Twin Twisters, Cosmic Cyclone.
What's your favorite type of marmalade?
Of what?
Marmalade.
Oh,
Jam.
strawberry.
Link monster with 1,800 attack points.
Skip.
Name 1 structure deck.
Soul Blaze?
Name 1 quick spell.
Time is up, guys. Time is
thank God I was
over.
out of questions.
So let's just count through really quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think it was 9 correct answers in total.
Well, that's pretty good already.
That's
Is
pretty
it?
alright. It is.
What is the material for Thousand Eyes? The second one.
Relinquished. You missed
Oh, right.
the easy
Oh, fuck. Oh,
You missed the easy one, the one that looks like Thousand Eyes.
yeah. Okay.
No, actually, Nightmare Unicorns at like 28 euros. We would have had like a price range from like 25 to 30 would have been fine.
Yeah, I have no idea. I have one for like forever, and I've never worried about the price.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I have actually like one more question which I couldn't read, so I had to skip it.
You couldn't read your own handwriting or what?
Nope, actually not. I'm just trying to find that out. But it doesn't matter.
You can tell
anyways.
us whenever you find it out, and maybe we can just still answer it or try to answer it.
Name a dino monster. That would have been easy.
Oh, I could have done that.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Okay, so let's just continue to talk for a bit. And as Chad is already requesting that as well, I would like to talk about the format right now a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And they ask you what the best deck is right now in the format. What is your personal opinion on that? And I mean, you played regionals this weekend, so maybe you can tell us about that as well.
Okay, so I played 2 regionals. One because it was in my hometown, basically Stuttgart, and then Frankfurt, which is where my parents live close to. So I traveled there. So I played 2. On Saturday, I played Salamangreat, which felt good to me. I went 5-1-1. The 5 matches I won, I actually 2-0'd everyone. The 1 match I lost was because, and that's one of the main problems I had with Salamangreat, was super polymerization at 2,
Yep.
which is something that everyone seems to be playing right now, and it turned out to be super annoying because it's something that sometimes you can play around it, but most of the time it's something that's going to hit you in the middle of the game somewhere and probably just going to kill you. And then I drew against Altergeist, simply because I couldn't beat him in game 2 fast enough. Like I won game 1 and game 2 was also pretty much locked up my game, and time was called when I was trying to build up the OTK in my main phase. So I liked Salamangreat, but I was really looking forward to trying Orcust. So there was Ayakop was at Stuttgart and he had Orcust, and he was not going to Frankfurt. So I just told him, give me your Orcust deck. I can play it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And he did. So I tried Orcust. My problem with Orcust in Frankfurt was I only won 1 dice roll and lost 7. And Orcust is really bad at, well, it's not terrible at going second. I still went X2, but I lost to 2 Salamangreats because they went Blind Dweller game 1 and game 3. So that is
not a whole lot you can do there, yeah.
Yeah, but like the experience I had with Orcust was that going first, it's probably the best deck in the format by far. And it has good tools at going second against everything except for Abyss Dweller. But unfortunately, Salamangreat makes Abyss Dweller pretty much every time.
Yeah.
So depending, like Salamangreat is your worst matchup because they play a lot of hand traps and they have Dweller when they go first. So if Salamangreat continues to be so popular, I probably wouldn't be playing Orcust.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, the Salamangreat mirror match, if everyone's playing 2 super polymerization and maybe multiple copies of Fusion of Fire, is also not the greatest matchup in the world that I would want to play. But in a vacuum, I like the Salamangreat deck. I think it's strong, but if you see too many super polys, I wouldn't advise you to play it because you have very little control over games where your opponent draws super polymerization. Sky Striker is something I hadn't tested before this weekend. I didn't think it was dead, but I didn't think it was super good either.
Yeah.
But the one thing that really makes me want to play Striker or try out Striker more is that it doesn't lose to Dweller, which is what people make blind at the moment because there's so much Orcust and Salamangreat. And it also has a decent chance against Orcust, even if you don't open a hand trap, because you can actually play around you don't care as much about Fogblade, and the 1 counter trap is something you can easily bait out. And you also have a free win against Mystic Mine, which is a good thing.
Yeah. Talking about Mystic Mine, what do you think about the Mystic Mine burn deck or the Mystic Mine Striker version?
In Striker, it's probably good. I haven't played against anyone who used it, but it seems okay, just like because you don't really depend on the card, you just activate it at some point. And even if your opponent has a full board, it basically forces him to link climb down into anything. Like he has to link away all his stuff just to get rid of Mystic Mine. And it gives you time, and it gives you just like board removal. So it seems good in Striker. But in other, like the pure burn deck, I think is a good card, a good deck if people are not prepared for it, which is something that could definitely happen at some nationals. Like even if people play like Twin Twister and MST, I don't think that's enough to counter the deck because it's not really a hard counter. They have so many copies of Mystic Mine that you need to draw so many outs to it. But there are cards that you can side. Like I sided Unending Nightmare this weekend, which is like pretty much an auto-win card against that deck if they don't have Dark Bribe immediately. And if more people start putting something into their side deck that just beats the deck, like Thunder decks can just play Spell Canceller, for example. And if you are the one playing Mystic Mine and your opponent has a Spell Canceller in their side deck, you pretty much auto-lose the entire match, even if you win game 1, because they're going to draw the Spell Canceller at some point because you give them so much time, so you just auto-lose. So it's one of those decks that if people expect it, it's just not going to be good. So I don't think it's a huge problem if you prepare for it. It's still annoying, though, of course. I'm not a fan of it. But,
Don't forget about the gate blocker, by the way.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Like, if you're really worried about the deck, then you can play that card.
Yeah, makes total sense. Then, rounding up the matter, True Draco was pretty successful this weekend. What do you think about True Draco?
I don't know why people start playing True Draco. I'm not really sure if it's really because of Mystic Mine. Maybe a little bit, but like, I played 2 True Dracos in Frankfurt, and I 2-0'd both of them. I did draw Twin Twister though, but like, Draco hasn't been a good deck in the last couple of formats. I don't think it's a good deck right now. It's not terrible, of course, but It just feels bad playing a deck where you basically instant lose if any deck draws Twin Twister, so I wouldn't advise you to play it. Like if you want something with a good matchup against Mystic Mine, just play Sky Striker, or just even Altergeist has a very good matchup against Mystic Mine because they can shuffle away their monsters with spoofing.
Yeah, your teammate Typhoon played Altergeist again at
Yeah, he
Division,
did.
right?
It's decent against Salamangreat too because they got Manhunt now or whatever. What's Manhunt called in TCG?
Crackdown,
right? Yeah, that's right. So, as always, you seem to have like a pretty good overview over the meta game, and you pretty much know about every single deck, and you have an opinion on everything, which obviously is very valuable.
Mm-hmm.
And,
yeah, I mean, it's the first time I've played the format this weekend, so my builds were probably not super refined, but I think for Nationals I'm going to be prepared because there's still a lot of time left until
and
Nationals.
you're obviously playing German Nationals, right?
Probably, most likely.
Because just for the sake of the points, right? Because it will
Well,
be the
yeah,
biggest
there's
national.
4 Nationals which give 128 points. I was thinking about going to France,
okay.
But I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided yet.
French Nationals gives the same amount of points in German Nationals?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's good.
That's why it's stupid, because French Nationals is like probably not even a third of the size.
Yeah, absolutely. So it probably doesn't even make more sense to go to France. That's weird. I didn't know that. I thought it gives more points in Germany. But
no, it's always the 4 Nationals. Like, Nationals always give points according to the number of qualifications that they give out.
Yeah.
And UK, Italy, France, and Germany is all 128 invites.
Yeah, true. Titchchris93 in the chat also asks, what do you think about the Thunder deck? We didn't talk about Thunder yet.
Oh yeah, Thunder. I think it's good. I think the Hieratic Link is very, very strong, especially if you decide to run Goliath, but maybe you don't even have to. My problem is that climbing into Saruja is a lot harder without Skyblaster, or with one Skyblaster.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's actually better than Orcust at going first, but I think it's decent. It's probably underrated. Pure Thunder sucks as always, but like the Danger Thunder could be a good deck, but it has the same problem with Abyss Dweller.
Yeah.
But it also has a huge problem against Mystic Mine if you're playing the Sekaz Light, because you probably don't even have an out in your entire main deck.
Which sucks.
And then sighting them is also hard, but yeah.
Yeah. So, I think we should go over to counter traps now. And Leo, would you mind explaining counter traps once more for all the people that still don't know?
Yeah, obviously, this is again the cringe part. The cringe part is always mine. It's amazing. So this format is called counter trap. What's going to happen is that we are, or rather, Sebastian is going to ask you 10 questions. They are like covering different fields of Yu-Gi-Oh and you, and you can answer them freely as you want. Take your time. And we won't respond to it. This is the counter trap joke about it. You can just like put out statements, whatever you want. You can say it, and we won't comment on it. So if you want to say, if the question is like, what do you think about Sky Striker, and your answer is Leonard and Bastian suck, then that's fine for us.
And we won't respond again.
Yeah, I think Basti, you can just shoot out the questions now.
Yeah, absolutely. So question number 1 is, what is the key skill that separates you from other Yu-Gi-Oh players, in your opinion?
Experience, mainly. Deck building and also tournament. Like, I'm not getting nervous anymore as easily as newer people. And probably helps, like, experience just helps in rational thinking, which is something that a lot of people lack in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Okay. Question number 2. Are you proud of yourself when you invent an unhealthy deck such as the Slash Draw FTK?
Well, I didn't invent that, but if I would still be proud of it.
What was the saddest moment in your Yu-Gi-Oh career?
Losing the finals of YC's Boba.
Do you still see yourself playing Yu-Gi-Oh in 5 years from now?
Maybe. Not sure.
Okay. Fifth question is, what was the best deck choice you ever made for a specific event ever? Like on your own?
60 card Paleo for YCS Prague Zodiac format.
All right. Which are your favorite teammates in E-Man games?
Oof, I don't want to hurt any feelings, but so favorite or best players? Favorite?
Favorite, yeah.
Favorite, okay. Probably Eugen. That's why I had to ask about best players first to make sure. And
Pew pew.
yeah, just the people I regularly see at local events, like regional events. Jonas, which I build a lot of decks with, Typhoon, and then also Ericos, because I like Ericos.
Okay. What is your favorite YCS location?
I like the city or the venue, like
City.
city. I like I like Rimini, but Rimini is always a pain to get to because they don't have an airport, so that sucks. I like all the German ones because they're very cheap to get to for me, but that doesn't really count. So I like Prague. Prague's cool. Yeah. Also Madrid was nice, and Barcelona back when they did Spanish events.
Oh yeah. So question number 8 is a little off topic. What kind of music does Joshua Schmidt listen to?
It's a mixture of rap, pop, and house, probably mostly. Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever think about quitting the game, or did you always have the spirit to move on?
I haven't thought about quitting it for real yet, no. Like I'm aware of the fact that like you can't play I probably can't play the game for forever because at some point life is just gonna require more time. But I haven't thought about quitting yet, no.
Okay. So that is already question number 10 now. Do you have any final shout-outs to make?
I'm gonna shout out the team, and I'm gonna shout out my family and my girlfriend.
Cool. Perfect. Yep. So just I'm just checking on the chat on the side whether there was anything interesting. Yeah, one question from Moal Sayari is pretty interesting. What is your sort, or like, which format do you like the most of all time in Yu-Gi-Oh? That's a pretty interesting question as well.
Necros and Dragon Ruler.
Yeah, that's kind of a basic answer, right? We heard that answer a lot. People.
Yeah, because it was good.
Yeah, exactly, because it was just good. Yeah, it's just objective, good Yu-Gi-Oh in that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're so basic.
Okay, so I think that was quite a nice talk, and we should already give like a spoiler for our Thursday Ultimate God Cup match, right?
Yes, indeed.
Your team is playing again.
Yes, United Gosus is facing Team Jim.
I thought you meant my team.
You're in top 8 already.
Yeah, you did that already.
Yep.
But you had a hard fight against Legacy Card Gaming.
That's true, yeah.
It was really, really tight. And yeah, it's playing Ultimate... No. United Gosus are playing versus Team Jim. That's right. And so you won't be casting with me again, right, Leo?
Yes, indeed. I won't have access to the deck list. I decided that to avoid like any kind of rumors or something like that, I just won't access the deck list of the opposing team of my team. So I'm out of that. So Larsen Up will cast the match with Sebastian Lemke. I will watch it at home with my roommate. And yeah, I'm pretty hyped for that. Of course, I will spam the chat as always and be annoying as hell. Next week's podcast, Tuesday will be with probably Eikefecht, the reigning Spanish national champion. And I don't think there's that much else to announce. Maybe like
no.
We might actually have a stream for the Cologne regional, which also would be casted by Lars and Basti then. I don't know if this tournament is even happening. They said like maybe not.
I think it's
aren't
happening.
sure about it yet.
I'm pretty sure it's happening. They're just not sure if they keep it on the Saturday or if they have to move it to the Sunday.
So yeah, I'm hoping that it's gonna happen.
Absolutely, yeah. Should be a big regional once more.
Yeah, important for points as well. So, anyways, Basti, thank you for doing this with me, and of course, thank you very much to Joshua Schmidt.
No problem.
It was a pleasure to interview you.
Yeah, it was a pleasure really to be here.
Okay, so why is no one talking? Anyways, let's just wrap this up. To all of you, have a nice night. Also, of course, always recommend this podcast to your friends. And see you on next week's Tuesday. And I can't say it, but see you from Lars and Basti as well, probably on Thursday.
Yeah, see you Thursday. Thanks again to Joshua, and have a nice evening, everybody.